Hello and welcome. There's this one question that people have been asking forever. How on earth do we get a handle on our own minds? Well, today we're going to dive into a really powerful framework based on the teachings of Sri Hit Premanand Govind Sharanji Maharaj. It's some truly timeless wisdom that you'll see is perfect for our crazy modern lives.
So let's just start with an honest question. Is your mind restless? You know that feeling, right? Constantly jumping from one thought to another, that little buzz of inner chaos? Well, if that's you, you are definitely not alone. And according to these teachings, this isn't just a personal problem. It's actually at the root of a lot of the disorder we see out there in the world today.
So what's the secret sauce? The great sage Maharshi Arya Baba was asked this exact question, and his answer was, well, incredibly simple. He said you don't stop the mind with force. You guide it with discipline, with rules. And that one simple idea, that's the key to everything we're going to talk about.
All right, so let's get into section 1, the mind's problem. We need to really understand what we're up against. And the teachings here suggest it's not just about feeling a bit distracted. It's about a deep lack of structure in our lives that basically lets chaos run the show. Now, this is where it gets super interesting. The source points a finger at something many of us totally overlook: the lack of a fixed daily routine, or what's called a dinacharya. Think about it. If you're waking up at 4 a.m. one day and then 7 a.m. the next, who's in charge? Your mind's whims are. Without that bedrock of consistency, trying to control your mind is pretty much impossible.
Okay, so if a messy schedule is the problem, what's the fix? That leads us right into section 2, discipline and duty. The answer, it turns out, is about setting up niyam, or rules for yourself, and really understanding your dharma, your righteous duty in life.
And here we have the central battle laid out perfectly. Our focus should be on dharma, on doing our jobs and living our lives with complete integrity. But let's be honest, modern life often screams at us to prioritize dhan, or wealth, no matter how we get it. This switch, right here, is pinpointed as the real source of so many of our struggles, both inside and out. And this is just so important. Your actions have to line up. The source is incredibly blunt about this. It says you can do all the spiritual practices you want in the morning, but if you then go to work and cheat people or misuse your authority, that morning ritual is basically worth nothing. Real spirituality isn't a 15-minute activity. It's how you live your entire day. This brings us right to the heart of it all, where these big ideas hit the pavement of the real world. Section 3, the 2 paths of action. How does this choice between duty and wealth really look in our everyday jobs? So let's take a lawyer, for example. You've got 2 paths. On one, the lawyer knows their client is guilty but takes a huge paycheck to get them off, chipping away at the justice system. On the other path, a lawyer fights tooth and nail for someone they know is innocent, upholding the law, even if the pay isn't as good. And the source asks a really powerful question. If the victim was a member of your family, which lawyer would you want? And it's not just for high-power jobs, right? Think about a shopkeeper. One lies, "Oh, I swear I'm barely making a penny on this," just to close the deal. The other is totally transparent. Here's a good product, here's the fair price. One builds a business on lies, the other builds it on trust. We all face these kinds of small but incredibly important choices every single day. And that unrighteous path, it can get really dark. The source gives some pretty chilling examples, like selling synthetic milk that you would never, ever give your own kid, or mixing chemicals into food just to make an extra buck, or even selling fake medicine to someone who's sick. In every single one of these cases, profit is being placed way, way above basic human decency. So this all leads to a pretty obvious question. What's the real cost of making these choices? What's the final bill? Let's dig into that in section 4. What is the true cost? The outcome is laid out so clearly here. That money you get from shady dealings, it's set to poison your own mind, bring fighting and stress into your home, and eventually, it all comes crashing down. But the righteous path? Even if it means having a little less, it leads to real peace of mind, a loving family, and this feeling of being protected. And here's just a beautiful way to picture it. The happiness you get from being dishonest is like a big, bright halogen bulb. It burns super intensely for a moment, and then poof, it fuses, it's gone. But the peace you get from doing the right thing, that's like a small clay lamp, a diya, that just burns steadily, giving off a warm, reliable light for a long, long time. So what's the bottom line here? The source reminds us of something we all kind of know deep down. When it's all said and done, that big house,
the money in the bank, even this body you're in. None of it is coming with you. The only thing you actually keep, the only account that truly matters, is the one built by your actions, your karma.
So, fantastic theory, but how do we actually live this way? Our final section gives us a clear, step-by-step game plan. Let's jump in to Section 5, A Life of Principle.
Okay, so the whole solution is laid out in 4 simple steps. Step 1, create that fixed daily routine we talked about at the beginning. Get that consistency. Step 2, fulfill your duties, whatever they are, with 100% honesty. Step 3, and this one is huge, you have to actively say no to any money that comes from dishonesty. And then, and only then, do you move to step 4, adding in things like chanting or meditation. You see, the foundation of righteous action has to be there first.
And so we're going to end on this question, which is really something for all of us to think about. As we move through our lives, every single choice we make, every action we take is like a deposit into an account. So the only real question left is, are your actions creating a good account or a bad one?